Alright, so today we're going to go over the setup of the High Flow Ranger. And for that you need 1,000 bag of lactated ringer. You need your wide tubing. You need your high flow cartridge, a 43-inch extension, a 3-way stopcock, and another 43 extension, alcohol swabs, and your patient sticker. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check our bag to make sure we're using the right fluid, which is 1,000 bag of lactated ringer. You want to make sure it's not expired bag. But also keep in mind that sometimes for this you can use normal saline, but that's for patient kidney recipients or if your provider specifically requests it. Otherwise you use 1,000 bag of it. You pull off your pigtail, use your alcohol swab to clean the area. And you have your wide tubing. Both ports should be locked. And remove. Be careful not to touch the sterile tip. We're going to puncture the bag. Put the port in the locked position. We're then going to invert the tubing and we're going to open it. We invert because we want some fluid to accumulate in this chamber here. And then we'll drop it. The fluid will then travel around and enter the bulb from the bottom. We do this so that all the air can be pushed out of the line. And we'll let that run through until it begins to drip out the other end. Once the fluid begins to drip out the other end, we'll close the port and stop it from running. Then we'll take our high flow cartridge. Keeping in mind the blue end is the input from the bag and the red is the output toward the patient. We can insert it in the Ranger. And then we can take the blue end and we can remove the cap. Be careful not to touch this tip. It must remain sterile. And we can take the cap off the tubing and connect the two. Then we'll take our first 42-inch extension. We'll remove the cap. Be careful not to touch the sterile end. And we'll connect it to the back end, which is the red port that goes toward the patient. Next, we'll take our 3-way stopcock and we'll connect that to our first 42-inch extension. And then we'll take our last 42 extension and connect that to our 3-way stopcock. Once all of these are connected, we can then open up the port so that the fluid can run through. It'll run through the cartridge and then it'll enter the air chamber, which we keep in the upside down position or the inverted position. And we do that so that as the fluid comes in, it can push the air out of the line. However, this also has an air chamber of its own that can push air out if you leave it in the right side up position, but we believe it's best practice to do this in the inverted position. So as soon as this chamber completely fills with the fluid, we'll turn it over and we'll put it in the hole. And then we'll wait for the fluid to run through all the tubing and ensure that all the air is out. And then we'll turn off the flow from the 3-way stopcock. At this point, you can hang up your tubing. And then the last thing you'll do is you'll take your patient sticker. And on your patient sticker, you're going to put identifiers. You're going to put your initials along with the time of day. Beneath that, you're going to put the date that you set it up, and you're going to put tomorrow's date, which is the expiration date. And with all these things complete, your High Flow Ranger